Hello everybody, this is Miss Virginia from Springboro Public Library, and I've come to read some books again tonight for you. I hope you enjoy them. My first book is called Grandma Drove the Snowplow. There's the front picture. It's written by Katie Clark and it's illustrated by Amy Huntington. Grandma drove the snowplow. And it's dedicated to Bob and Jeffrey. Thanks to the folks at Winston Public Works and to Martha, Harley, and Baby. Billy, said Grandma, check the cookies. Billy looked in the oven. But the cookies weren't ready. It wasn't the oven timer. It was the radio. With an emergency broadcast. Announcement. Grandma turned up the volume. Warning, the storm has changed direction. Blizzard conditions are sweeping across the state. 18 to 24 inches of snow expected by nightfall. Oh no, said Billy, but tonight's the carol sing. Grandma looked at the tins of cookies stacked on the counter and the baskets of mittens all set to go by the door. Don't you worry, she said. We'll be fine. Just fine. Buster's out in his truck. He'll get the roads cleared. He can plow through anything. And she rolled out another lump of dough. Here are the pictures. There's Grandma talking to Billy. Now, in the summer, Grandma ran the garbage business. Her 3 sons drove the trucks, but in the winter, when the summer folks were gone, there wasn't that much garbage. But there was always plenty of snow. So in the winter, Grandma ran the snow plowing business too. And for everyone in town, there was no bigger winter celebration than the carol sing. Starting the day after Thanksgiving, people baked cookies, practiced songs, and knit pairs and pairs of mittens for the mitten tree. They hadn't missed a carol sing for as long as anyone could remember. See Grandma on the radio, the walkie-talkie, people gathering up the cookies and mittens and things. Ring! Billy said, Grandma, are there cookies done? Ring! Billy checked the cookies. Ring! But it wasn't the oven timer. It was the telephone. Hello, said Grandma. Oh, no, said Grandma. I see, said Grandma, and she hung up the phone. Buster's stuck in the snowbank. He can't move forward, and he can't move backward, and he certainly can't plow the roads in time for the carol sing. They might have to cancel. That's sad, isn't it? But, said Billy, it starts in 2 hours. Don't you worry, said Grandma. We'll be fine, just fine. Bert's out in his truck too. He'll get the roads cleared. He can plow through anything. She did another tray of cookies and into the oven, and ring, ring, ring. Grandma looked at Billy, and Billy looked at Grandma, and they both looked at the phone. They knew it wasn't the oven timer. Starting to get excited because now there's like stuff happening, right? Hello, said Grandma. Oh no, said Grandma. I see, said Grandma as she hung up the phone. Bert's stuck in a ditch and he can't move forward, he can't move backwards, and he certainly can't plow the roads in time for the carol sing. But, said Billy, who's going to plow now? They are, and there's a truck over in the ditch. Grandma sprinted across the room, and there sat Bill, her third and last son. He didn't need to say a thing. They all knew there was no way he could drive a truck, much less operate the snowplow. Terrible, said Grandma, just terrible, making folks miss the best party of the season. And then she looked at her littlest grandson. But he didn't look sad, he looked happy. And what was he holding in his hand? Well, there's her son with the broken leg. Come on, Grandma, said Billy, come on. We've got a job to do, a big job. Grandma yanked off her apron and tossed the spatula to Bill. Don't let the last batch of cookies burn, she said, and then she grabbed her coat. Wow, wonder what they're going to do. They can't shovel all the roads. What do you think? Big truck. Snowplow. Billy scooted into the front seat. Grandma switched on the flashing lights. If I can drive the garbage truck, I guess I can drive this old monster. She lowered the plow and barreled down the driveway. Go. The wreath, cried Billy, but Grandma didn't see. The wipers were beating. Thappity-thap, thappity-thap, thappity-thap. She knocked down someone's wreath. The snowplow churned around the corner. Let's just give these folks a hand, said Grandma. The reindeer, shouted Billy, but Grandma didn't hear. The wind was howling. Oh my goodness, she ran over some reindeer lights. You know, that's how I would plow. Better get out of my way, because this Grandma would just run it over. The snowplow rumbled down the lane. Looks like the skaters could use our help, said Grandma. The tree, yelled Billy. But Grandma didn't notice. The snow was swirling around. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. There's a reindeer on Grandma's truck. You can hear. Grandma's making quite a mess. She knocked over trees. She didn't hit the skaters, though. That's pretty good. The snowplow swerved onto Main Street. Grandma put on her high beams. She beeped her horn all the way to the front door of the church. There you see people walking in church. Roy Hardy grabbed the wreath. Edna Fillmore strung the lights, and little Maggie Wells helped hang mittens on the trees. There's a picture over here. They're all getting tree ready for the party. Merry Christmas, everyone, hollered Grandma. But Billy didn't look happy. He looked sad. Where is he said. Ho, ho, ho. Here I am. Santa stomped snow from his boots. That sure is a blizzard out there. It's a picture, and you can see Santa Claus coming through the door. There's a picture of people eating cookies and a doggy, and Santa's in that picture too. No, Santa's in the picture over here. Billy sat on Santa's lap and he opened his present. Then he pulled something out of his pocket. It's for you, he said. I knew you'd make it. You always do. Billy handed the present. It's a cookie to Santa Claus. You know Santa Claus likes cookies. There's a picture of everybody singing carols and having fun. Christmas has some nice songs and they're so pretty. It's the back of the book. And that was Grandma Drove the Snowplow. She just pretty well drove it. My next book is Madeline's Christmas by Ludwig Bemelmans. You see the picture. There's two lines of little girls. And this book is an old book. It's a very old story. And they've even had, I think they've made movies about Madeline. There you go. And the whole book's kind of a poem. So you'll kind of like to hear it. Madeline's Christmas. In an old house in Paris there was covered with vines lived 12 little girls in two straight lines. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines, in rain or shine, and the smallest one was Madeline. And the books always start out that way. She was not afraid of mice. She loved winter, snow, and ice. And to the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Hoo, hoo." It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even the mouse. So there's Madeline, and there they are in their beds. For like everyone else in that house, which was old, the poor mouse was in bed with a miserable cold, and only our brave little Madeline. Everybody was sick with a cold. Only Madeline was well enough to do the work. She's sleeping. Only Madeline was up and about and feeling. This book doesn't have a lot of words in it. You have to kind of read the pictures just fine. And suddenly came a knock which made her pause. So the first picture is her taking a hot water bottle to the lady in charge. And the next picture is her taking syrup and stuff, medicine to the other girls in bed that were sick, hot tea, and then she's dusting. So she's very busy, Madeline. Poor Madeline. Could it perhaps be Santa Claus? But no. A rug merchant was at the door, and he had 12 rugs, and he had no more. That was a rug merchant. Maybe he thought he was gonna give rugs to the girls. Why, these, said Madeline, should be so neat for our ice cold in the morning feet. It seems to me, said Miss Clavel, that you would have chosen very well. Miss Clavel is the lady who takes care of them. Madeline gave him a handful of francs, which is their money. Here they are with all our thanks. Without the rugs which he had sold, the rug merchant got so awfully cold. To sell my rugs, he cried, was silly. Without them, I am very chilly. He wants to get them back, but will he? What do you think? He made a went back to Madeline's door, he couldn't take one footstep more. And little Madeline set about to find a way to thaw him out. The merchant, who was tall and thin, and also a magician. It sounds it out. Magician. Bravely took his medicine. So she gave him medicine to help him get better. It's nice to sound words out so that we can read them, right? We can sound them out and we know what they are then. The magician, as he took up his pill, said, "Ask me, Madeline, what you will." She said, "I cook a dinner nutritious. Will you please help me with these dishes? If you'll clear up, and I'll go and see I can find a Christmas tree." His magic ring gave him a glance, and he went to a special trance. The dirty dishes washed themselves and jumped right back into the shelves. Hey, I need him at my house. He could wash my dishes because I got a whole sink full right now. Then he mumbled words profound. Abracadabra, bracadaber, karadab, akada, kad-a. Wow. And there he is. He's kind of like smoke all around. I wonder if he's making everybody well. What do you think? Looks like the girls are getting up. That made the carpets leave the ground, and the 12 little girls were on their way. Oh, it didn't. If the girls were on them carpets and they were magic carpets flying. To surprise their parents on Christmas Day, Miss Clavel, again quite well, thought it was time to ring her bell, which quickly broke the magic spell. Uh-oh. Now I wonder if they're going to all plop on the ground. And now we're back, all 12 right here. We wish our friends a Happy New Year. And there they are. They're back from their journey home at Christmas, and they're there for Happy New Year's. New Year's comes right after Christmas. Now our third book is The Berenstein Bears, Night Before Christmas. And someone's dressed up like Santa Claus. I think it's Papa. There's Mama Bear. And there's there's Papa Bear there. Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Brother Bear, Sister Bear, and Honey Bear. The Berenstein Bears, The Night Before Christmas, from a poem by Clement C. Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas in the Bears' Tree home, when they read of St. Nicholas in a beloved poem. And this is written by Mike Berenstein, based on the characters created by Stan and Jan Berenstein. It was Christmas Eve in the Bear family's treehouse. They were no more than ready for a visit from Santa Claus. Their tree was beautifully decorated. Their stockings were carefully hung by the fireplace. Brother, sister, and Honey even put out a snack of milk and cookies for Santa. Good idea, said Papa, sliding down the chimney is so hard. Old St. Nicholas will be hungry. And there they are, getting ready for Christmas. St. Nicholas, said Brother. Who is he? Well, that's an old name for Santa Claus, explained Mama. Or he was just called St. Nick. St. Nick, repeated Sister. That's cute. There's a famous old poem about him, said Papa, getting a dusty book down from a shelf. Let's read it together. Actually, said Brother, we were planning to watch the Nutty Bears meet Santa Claus on TV. It's our Christmas Eve tradition. Here they are. You can see the one picture over here with some of the Nutty Bears characters. They were going to watch on TV. Mama didn't think the Nutty Bears were very Christmassy, and all they did was hit one another over the head. I think it's time to start a new Christmas Eve tradition, she said firmly. TV isn't everything. There's such a thing as plain old-fashioned book. Papa opened the book, and the cubs sat in a brightly covered. The cubs saw the brightly colored pictures, and it looked pretty interesting. Go ahead and read it, Papa, Papa's sister said. So Papa began to read, A Visit from St. Nicholas. And we all heard this before. There's several books that have this story in it. A Visit from St. Nicholas. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. There's a picture of them looking at Papa's book and the cookies and milk and the fireplace with their stockings hanging on it. Christmas tree. The children were nestled all snug in their beds with visions of sugar plums dancing their head. Sugar plums, I think, are candy, but they've got plums up here. And Mama in her kerchief, that's her hat, and I in my cap had just settled down our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. And there's Papa looking out his window, and there you can see Santa Claus and the sleigh and his reindeer. This was before they had Rudolph. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came. He whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. And there you can see the reindeer coming up, top of the house. And that would be a hard house to get on because it's a tree house. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his sack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. I do believe in Santa Claus, and this book looks like a bear. What do you think? He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, and then turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. See the picture of him doing all that? Papa's watching the whole time. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Papa closed the book. "Well, how did you like A Visit from St. Nicholas?" he asked. "Shh," said Mama. The cubs were all asleep. There's the cubs sleeping. They can go to bed so Santa Claus can come. When I was a little girl, we were told Santa Claus wouldn't come unless we were sleeping. Papa and Mama carried the cubs upstairs and nestled them down all snug in their beds. "Sometimes," said Mama, as they kissed the cubs goodnight, "there's just nothing like a good book." And then they went to bed themselves and settled down for a long winter's nap. The Bear family was ready for their very own visit from St. Nicholas. They are. Mama's holding the honey bear. There's Mom and Papa in bed. Happy Christmas to all, and to all, a good night.